Hello, welcome to the Comic Book Club. I am your host, Jamil Payne, and with me today is my co-host, Amanda Comey. How are you doing, Amanda?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I am doing fantastically well. Today, we are talking Astro City in our continuing of Alice Ross month. Now, but before we do, there's some trailer talk that we should talk about. That's it's all pertinent to this show, I should say, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with least to the least important to the most important, according to me.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
So let's start off with the Black Widow trailer.
Yeah, that's okay. That's how I would have ranked them.
Yeah, yeah. We look. We all know what number one is.
Yeah.
So Amanda, what did you think of the Black Widow trailer?
So you reminded me that I should watch it, and I watched it at like 11:30 this morning, which is about 4 hours ago. I already don't remember anything.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
it was a memorable. It was probably visually distinct. Probably some really creative use of music or something. Really imaginative costumes. I don't know. Did it have any of those things?
Nah, but it looks cool. Like,
Okay.
like this is the thing, right? It's a Marvel movie, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more. Not necessarily like a R rating, but something with a little more of a harder edge.
hmm
But this just seems like a Marvel movie. It looks good. Like all Marvel movies are good, decent. You know what I'm saying? Well, except for Thor, Ragnarok. Excuse me. I mean Thor: The Dark World. But we're not gonna go there. But but yeah. Look, I'm gonna go see it. Right? You know what I'm saying? I think she looked cool in her white uniform.
Yeah, I was okay. You're right. There was one good costume. We got to see a white version of her black leather thing.
Which is
Um,
which is from the comics, yeah.
was that Red Guardian?
Yes, it is. It's an out of shape fat rat played by David Harbour of Stranger Things fame.
Yeah.
He looks funny. You know what I'm saying? It also has Taskmaster, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
You know, Taskmaster is a C level character that over I say the last I'm gonna say over the last 15 years, 10 to 15 years, his profile has been slowly raising. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? Like as they start making movies and coming more into the mainstream, they start using him more because I guess someone realized his power set is really cool, which is he trains supervillains and he can mimic heroes' moves.
Yes. And
So
as a dancer, that's always appealed to me too, that he decided to become a super hero slash villain instead of a professional dancer.
right, right, and the
You,
fact,
you said right like that actually made sense. You're so funny.
hey, hey, it does, it does. Look, man, look. There's a villain called
He could be paid tens of thousands of dollars and live a barely normal life on the wages that professional ballet dancers
Well,
get.
no, it's funny because I know you're joking, but you gotta
Right.
understand something. I've thought about this before because I feel the same way about Backdrop the Leaper. There's something very I don't know poetic about these. There's something not poetic, but it's something very graceful about those two characters that
Mhm.
does invoke dancing. So no, I was dead serious. Like, oh yeah, I can see that. I can see Taskmaster being a dancer. He'd be the best dance partner.
Yeah.
But
He'd
yes,
be he'd be on one of those okay, yeah, that's my problem is he wouldn't be like in the Nutcracker. He'd be like on So You Think You Can Dance and maybe he'd actually get TV money that way.
and they actually gave him like a skull face. I mean, not some people are complaining that it's not a complete skull face, like it's more of a stylized skull. But the fact that he even has a skull mask, I'm okay with that. Like, of course, they was gonna movieify it. It just wasn't gonna be like a straight up like skull.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. Rachel Weisz is in the movie, and like I'm always happy to see her.
Yeah.
This is what I find weird though. It's talking about there's the scene at the end is talking about how like oh look at that the family is back together, and I'm thinking to myself, Natasha got a whole other family in America with Hawkeye and his people. Like she actually did okay for herself. She don't really need these people.
Yeah, yeah. Is this going to be a movie about her not needing those people anymore? It does feel a little weird.
So what do you think about them making a movie after she's dead? Like this is a prequel, but what do you think of them making a movie about,
Um, I mean, one of the one of the ways you're a real comic book fan is when ideas seem so obvious to you, and yet Marvel and DC refuse to do them. I mean, this is so late. We've been asking for a Black Widow movie for so long. Nearly everyone else in the original Avengers got multiple movies of their own. They were clamoring for movies with a female lead, and they brought in Captain Marvel instead of giving Black Widow a movie.
Yeah.
It just seems so obvious. And now that they've finally gotten around to it, I don't know if I need it.
Wow. I mean,
like I think it's like when you're really hungry and they bring out an appetizer and then you're not really hungry for dinner anymore.
Yeah. I could
rarely happens. Usually,
Well, and like I think I've seen a lot more backlash towards Captain Marvel lately. Not like backlash. I guess backlash is the wrong word, but like I remember when that movie came out, there was a lot of like fervor around it. Like like oh my god, it's so good. And I remember me and you talking about like, hey, it was good, but it was kind of just like painted by the numbers and kind of like just okay. And I think I'm starting to see their opinion a lot more all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to when it first came out. Like now that the hype has died down and people had time to like really think about that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like I hope that Black Widow succeeds. Not necessarily Captain Marvel fails because that's crazy because it made $1 billion. You
right.
know. But like, I hope it's more memorable than Captain Marvel is.
Yes.
All right. So, let's move on to the second trailer. Wonder Woman.
Yes.
So, Amanda, where should we start with Wonder Woman? Like, I kind of want to start at the end, but I think that would be silly. But I really want to start at the end.
Yeah, I really want to start at the end too.
She has the gold eagle armor.
Yeah, she does.
Now, if I remember correctly on that Kingdom Come episode, I think one of us said, I could be wrong, but I think one of us said on the podcast, like, man, I would love to really see that in live action.
I mean, I don't know. We have the recording. We could probably check and see if one of us said that, but
look, I've been thinking that a long time. Anyway, so even if we didn't, but like to like read that book just 3 weeks ago and to think like, man, this would be real cool to see like in live action.
Yeah.
And then to almost immediately get it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. like you could have just showed me that part. You had to show me the rest of the trailer. That right there would have sold me enough. But I love the Wonder Woman movie. You know what I'm saying? I genuinely loved it and like showed it a little bit more than Captain Marvel. But like I don't know, man. I can't wait. But I feel like it's gonna be weird because it's gonna take place in the 80s. Like I wonder how like pandering this to the 80s is gonna be because it already had the what song did it have in the trailer?
It was Blue Monday.
Blue Monday, that's right. Yeah. So I was like, I was like, I don't know. I mean, look. I'm not above pandering in some cases to a time, like racist, like pandering to races and people's sexual orientation. That's a little different. But look, the one thing I did love about Captain Marvel was all the '90s music, and everybody else seemed to hate that. So if you want to throw me a Wonder Woman movie there's nothing but '80s music, I'm down. And like a synth soundtrack, I'm with that.
Yeah.
What I think Kristen Wiig as Cheetah is gonna be weird. I don't understand that casting choice, but like I'm sure she'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? But it's just weird that she's playing Cheetah, and like nobody that's a little bit like buffer.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Kristen Wiig is a bit of a waif,
Yeah.
and like Cheetah, which I know is supposed to be like kind of streamlined, but is like a physical threat for Wonder Woman. And I just don't get that from Kristen Wiig, but we'll see. Like I'm open for her to blow me away. What do you think of the trouble?
Um, I I really I really liked the trailer. It had a lot of things I look for in a trailer, like Chris Pine, even when he maybe shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that seems weird. Like okay, hold on. I mean to interrupt you, right? But I was just like, oh, when they showed a picture of him like a year ago, like, oh, watch it, it's gonna be like some flashback or some trick. He's not really in the movie. No, he's in the movie. He's in the movie and he's doing stuff.
I mean, it's so hard for me to complain because I want him in the movie.
Yeah, I know how you feel about Chris Pine. Like, is it weird for you to be that sexually attracted to somebody and for him to be Captain Kirk at the same time? Because
It does. I did have conversations with Abe about how my Star Trek nerd credentials should not get pinged because I like the new ones because they're sexy, right? Like
yeah, right.
yeah. So yes, it has hurt me a few times where I've been considered a lesser Star Trek fan because of it.
Because I can see you now, everybody talking about the big ideas in Star Trek, and you come around like, yeah, and Kirk is really hot. Like,
yeah.
Kirk, Spock, or everybody's hot, even Bones. Like
everybody, yes, everyone is hot in those movies. I don't know why anyone would give me trouble about liking those movies. And that is how I feel about Wonder Woman. Everyone in these movies is beautiful. Everything looks cool. If the plot is passable, I will enjoy it, and I will probably watch it multiple times.
And it stars a woman, which is always like cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's funny too to see this trailer and see how excited I was. It made me think about what Elizabeth Banks said about when Charlie Angels, didn't make any money, talking about how men don't want to see like women in action roles. And I just started thinking about all the movies where I like women in action roles, including the original Charlie's Angel. But whatever. She can have her opinion.
Yeah.
So anything else? I think what's his name? Pedro Pascal looks awesome as Maxwell Lord. Looks very 80s.
Yeah, that's not a character I'm familiar with, but you get the vibe immediately.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into his backstory, but yeah, I can't wait to see this movie. It's been 3 years since Wonder Woman. So look, so I got a problem. Okay.
Yes.
This is Wonder Woman's. This Wonder Woman. How can I say this? Captain America was in a lot of movies in like a 10-year period. Like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor pretty much showed up in a movie every other year, right?
At least, yeah.
They can't be taking this much time between these movies. These people gonna get old. Like, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You want to take your time. You want to develop it, but like at the same time, like I think we passed the part of where you can just take that long to release a sequel to a superhero movie. You want to get these people.
I mean, you want to talk about how long it takes to release a prequel to a superhero movie? Like, is anybody gonna buy that Scarlett Johansson's supposed to be what, like 20?
No. It takes place right after Age of Ultron.
Oh. Yeah, well, she still looks older, so
yeah, exactly. Like, No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just we like no, we just lived in this age where we just seen Iron Man and Captain America a lot, right?
Yep.
And it's weird that they took 3 years to make a sequel to a Wonder Woman movie. It's just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was take 3 years before they make a sequel to an Aquaman movie, which just to me tells me
And
that
I believe we just heard, is Shazam going to be 2022?
I think it's 21.
21, okay. But
Like
still,
that,
yeah.
yeah, that's crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? And the Rock movie's coming out next year. They said, is it next year? Oh my gosh, Shazam might be 22. Why would you do that?
I
I
mean,
don't
as
know.
long as they film it now, it might be fine, but I'm a little bit worried about I'm a little bit worried about the kids doing a Beverly Hills 90210 on us.
What? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Marvel has kind of messed it up.
Hmm.
Like, I just expect my superheroes movies a lot faster.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe this helps with the quality. I know Henry Cavill want to still do a Superman movie. Whether he gets to or not is a whole nother story. Speaking of which, Snyder Cut, right? It's funny. Everybody's talking about the Snyder Cut. Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa said, they did the hashtag release the site Snyder Cut. Henry Cavill is a smart man. He don't want shit to do with the Snyder Cut. He like, I am focused on Superman's future.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care about that. I won't forget about that, but I still want to be Superman. Look, can we focus on what we can do with Superman instead of this movie nobody likes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. He has a new show coming up called The Witcher. I can't wait to see him in that. Okay, so.
Oh, that's everything, right?
No.
No?
No.
No? Are we forgetting something? Was there something more important and maybe actually exciting going on? Something which also Amanda may not be allowed to comment on through pure sex appeal. Did you just snort laugh?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, of course, obviously, I'm talking about darling Paul Rudd in the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer.
That trailer got released Monday. It is now Thursday. I've seen that trailer 50 times since Monday. I think the first 20 times I teared up.
Aw. That's not the reaction you had to the Answer the Call trailer, right?
No, I actually like the Answer the Call trailer. Like it was very controversial that I was the only person that was kind of excited about that movie. I got picked on 2 shows about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't until after the movie came out I was kind of like, well. But no. I didn't tear up for Answer the Call. No, I did not.
So it's a different type of nostalgia this time.
Yes, this pulls all the right strings. I'm gonna tell you the moment that got me first, right? Like, you looking at the trailer, and it's very like, Stranger Things, Lean on Me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then, like, the music started building. Then you hear like Peter Venkman like voiceover from the first movie, and that's the moment I was like, there's a little dusty in here.
I really appreciated the voiceover from the first movie. I really liked that.
It just goes to show you what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's making people know, like, this is not 2016 Ghostbusters. This is connected to the original movies, and it looks so good, Amanda. God, I hope it's good. It's clearly not a comedy, but I'm okay with that. Well, you know what? No, I'm talking. What do you think of the trailer, Amanda?
I mean, I think it looks a lot more like what people were wanting from, the last time we talked about another Ghostbusters movie.
Right.
With having more different, like a different type of callback. Like, Answer the Call had plenty of, hey, do you remember this? We're going to do this again. but this trailer does it in a way that's not mimicky. So like details like the symmetric book stacking in the background, or um gosh, I mean, even when they were talking about like the house, I was like, wait, is that Ray's house? Is that the one that he had to mortgage for the firehouse?
And at some point he gave it the E-gun
I don't know. I don't know.
because those are E-gun's grandkids. Those are
Yeah,
clearly
it
E-gun's.
seems so. Yeah.
That little girl looks like Harold Ramis. Damn it.
That's a mean thing to say.
No, I don't mean that in the. Oh my god, I ain't mean it like that. I did not mean that she. No, what I'm saying is she favors him, not that she look. No, Amanda, I'm not even gonna do this with you. But yeah, so I do think it's weird to have Finn Wolfhard in the movie,
Yeah.
cause have you cause like what was it season 2 of Stranger Things? They dress up as Ghostbusters because it take place in 1984.
Yeah.
So it's weird to actually see him in a Ghostbusters movie. I think he even said that he thought he wasn't gonna get it because of that.
Right, right. I
But
mean, he has, it does feel like he's gotten a little typecast.
yeah, because he's in it also. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is like he's found like his bread and butter. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, I mean, that's not,
Okay.
we're just jealous.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. So look. So I don't know, man. I don't even know what to start at, man. It's just
I mean, I think that's plenty. What was your favorite thing to see in the trailer?
oh, the gunner seat.
Okay.
That right there got me so excited. I was like, of course the Eto one should have a gunner seat. And I'm surprised they didn't do it in the original movies. That like
Well, I mean, I feel like that's one of those things that they probably wanted in the original and then just like didn't, like how do you build something like that?
yeah, exactly. I just it seems to hit all the right notes that the 2016 movie didn't. Like now, of course, I do this to myself, and I go to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Type in Ghostbusters into the search engine and to see
Hmm.
what people are saying.
Yeah.
Most of it is positive, but man, some people,
How is there any negative?
huh?
How is there? Oh wait, I've heard of the internet. Never mind.
Man, there's a lot of people that like that 2000 that died on the hill of that 2016 movie, and they are up fucking set.
Wait. So I'm sorry. I mishear? Are there people who? Because really, the only people I can see being upset about this movie are the people like you and me who just read 1,000 pages of Ghostbusters
Oh,
comic book and
oh
are now concerned about our canon for that.
no. There's a lot of look. You know me. I like to take a both sides approach. I know a lot of people don't like that because of Trump, right? But I went to Twitter and like Amanda for 3 hours I just read people comments on Ghostbusters, right? While most of it
Wow.
was positive, the 99% of the negative that I seen was from people who like the 2016 movie.
Okay.
Cause Amanda, if you remember how toxic the environment was
Yes.
around that movie, so
Yeah.
look, so like lines was drawn, and the people who thought they took the quote unquote right side lost
Okay.
basically. So in their mind, they thinking you're giving in to man baby fanboys.
Right. Right. Okay. I mean, I can kind of, I can kind of see that.
Look, I can too, but like, come on, man, that movie wasn't that great. Like we all know it. Like, but a lot of people died on that hill, man. Like, and I feel for those people. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Like straight up. Like, I'm a Ghostbusters fan, so like, I understand what they're going through. But at the same time, that movie was mediocre, and they ain't what people asked for, men or women, from a Ghostbusters movie. They didn't want a reboot. They
Yeah.
wanted a continuation, and they didn't give us that. And then they gave us something that's very similar to the original movie, but not as good. And like those people are upset, and I feel bad for them because I know 2016 Ghostbusters brought in a lot of female fans and brought in a lot of new fans, and like you seen a lot of kids dress up as like those. So like I think they're a valid part of that community. But let's be real. Let's be real. Oh look, my favorite comment was from like this gay Hispanic dude. Well, like I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said, of course, people would like. Of course, the new Ghostbusters is about stuff like family and legacy and other white patriarchal ideas of America. And I'm thinking to myself, when did family and legacy become a white person thing? Like a lot of things can be white people things, but family, legacy, and lineage is not a white person thing. Like, but look, these are the battlegrounds that people have drawn with this movie. Look, and you know what I say to those people?
What do you say to those people?
The same thing they said to the people who didn't like the 2016 movie. It's not made for you.
Wow.
It's made for me. You had your shot. Yep. Someone shot it. It rolled around the rim and it bounced out.
Wow.
It's our turn now, damn it. This is what I wanted. This is what I waited for. And goddamn, I'm not going to apologize for it. I am excited. I can't wait to see that shit. Look, the best compliment I could give is my son watched that trailer and was excited to go see Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters is the one thing I haven't been able to make him a fan of. But when he seen this trailer, he was ready to go see this movie.
Well, good.
And I can say that about 2016, where I went twice, paid my money twice to see that movie with two different women. Not two different women, as in like,
Yeah.
My niece and my wife on two separate occasions because I wanted to support that movie. And neither one of those women liked that fucking movie. They liked it even less than I did. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't wait. And that means all those comic books we read means shit now. Not a damn thing.
I mean, when we were discussing those comic books, we did get into a little bit of how Eric was clever in creating this idea of the multiverse in the Ghostbusters canon. So we can always just believe that this is a different part of the multiverse. But I will be interested to see if any of the other ideas from the comics did survive into what we're going to see in the movie.
Well, look, I got bigger questions, and like, I know we just talking about this forever, but of course this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I got bigger questions, Amanda. I got two big questions about it. Okay, when did Egon have kids?
Oh, and are they Janine's, right?
Well, look, we know Egon didn't have kids in '89 when Ghostbusters 2 came out, as far as we knew.
Uh-huh.
Because if he did have a kid, let's say he had a kid in 89, 90, like right after Ghostbusters 2 ended, right?
Yeah.
That kid wouldn't technically be old enough to have like two like teenagers, like a 10-year-old and like a 15-year-old. So when did Egon have kids?
Well, so when Egon's doing the experiment and he says, "What if we took the puppy away?" Maybe that was his son. Mystery solved.
Yeah, maybe.
Full circle. That was Paul Rudd.
That was Paul Rudd. Hey, you know what? He's the perfect actor for that role because like to me he's kind of like an embodiment or continuation of the type of comedy that they did back in the 80s in a lot of ways, like kind of deadpan. He's kind of schlubby, even though he has like a six-pack now because he in fucking Marvel movies. You know what I'm saying? But he has that lovable loser like aura, just like the original Ghostbusters had. Yeah,
very, very approachable. Yeah.
One more thing. He said, "Oh, is this a replica?" They said, "Of what? A ghost trap?" And they was like, "What's a ghost trap?" Ghosts took over New York twice. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not teaching that in school.
Well, I mean, I think that was the point, was that it was like, I mean, like doesn't he say as much to them in the trailer? Like, how could you guys not know about this?
Yeah, like it's weird. Like the Statue of Liberty walked down Broadway, Amanda.
Oh, maybe that didn't happen.
What do you mean that didn't
Maybe they're
happen?
gonna ditch the second movie.
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think so. I think the second movie had. Okay, fine. Okay, a 300-foot tall marshmallow man walked down the street by Central Park. You talk about that all the time. Like there will be nothing else in history books. Like history would start right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked enough about it. We're definitely going to see that. Oh, we're having a review of that. That might just be a movie. Look,
I mean, I feel like we may do a whole episode every time they release an updated trailer or something.
yeah. So I'm gonna get the movies and stuff, guys, on this. We may have to bring the band back together for that one. Okay, today we are talking Astro City, created by Kurt Busiek, Brent Anderson, and Alex Ross. Written by Kurt Busiek, with interior art by Brent Anderson and covers by Alex Ross. It won a bunch of Eisner Awards between '96 and '98. It ran from this volume we're reading volume 1. It ran from August of '95 to January of '96. These first few issues, and it's basically their take. It's like if Marvel and DC was smushed together into one city, you have Astro City. That's the best synopsis I can give, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it feels very much like everything else you've been reading recently. These sort of making superheroes feel human, and putting superheroes in the context of more of like economic and social problems and relationship problems. But in sort of a grand, timeless way, and also sometimes in using versions of the characters that feel familiar even if we haven't met them before.
Well, we should say that this is unique in Alex Ross because Alex Ross doesn't do the art for this book.
Right, but he clearly helped out with the character designs.
Right, I feel like it's one of these things that like just like with Marvels and Kingdom Come, where like he's like a major creative force on this, and it might even been originally his idea for all we know. And he and it feels like it. Like it's weird because like a lot of these characters are like allegorical for other characters. Like they basically create their own set of original superheroes, but they're not really original.
Right.
A lot of them are not really that original. It almost like felt like he felt the need to do this so he can explore like Superman in a different type of way, right? You know what I'm saying? Not too off the beat from what we know of Superman, but enough to where maybe DC wouldn't have approved of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Amanda, what do you think of Astro City?
You know, I absolutely loved it. Um, I'm I'm surprised because, I mean, between this and Squadron Supreme and the alternate Justice League and then the Marvels, I feel like I should be tired of this story.
Yeah, right.
Um, but there were so many things. I was going to say to you, who is the main character?
Ah,
I have an idea.
Okay. I want to hear it.
The main character in this book is actually the city.
Right.
It's about this place that has all of these people in it. And unlike the other stories we read, there was some interesting, I mean, like I think in the back matter there was actually a map of how they laid out the city and where everything was. And more so than in the other books we read, it felt like Astro City was the character. Like it was what it was who I was getting to know.
Right.
And also the Superman analog who dreams about flying naked. I think he was also the main character.
Yeah, yeah. The
And
Samaritan.
also the really grumpy uh, alien
Zorak.
who gets annoyed by all of the old gossipy women and decides that humanity deserves to be destroyed.
Yo, that's so funny. Cause
And also maybe the SJW winged victory, who's maybe too much of a feminist to date Superman.
I
And
loved her.
also
I
the
personally loved her.
yeah, and also the gypsy lady who lived in the neighborhood that's actually haunted. I guess gypsy would be the wrong description. She seems vaguely
Mi-
of Roma heritage or
Yeah.
vaguely old Jewish, not really clear. Um,
I mean that's definitely what they're going for.
yeah,
So look, I just want to say something about the old alien, about the old man. I don't blame him.
right.
I would set that shit out too. I like I was on his side. I was on his side. By the end of that shit, I was like, yeah, you know what?
Yep. Yeah, that was the point.
I'm at work just dying laughing. Like, you know what? I'm so sick of these. I'm so
Yeah.
sick of these broads. But okay, so what do you even want to start? Like, I think we should start at the beginning. Like we're not gonna go
Yeah.
like story by story, but like I want to talk about the Samaritan, right? This is
Okay.
this world's Superman analog, right?
Hmm.
It's I love what Busiek does with him, and it's great. It's like he almost has like a compulsory need to save people. Like he just can't relax, and the fact that he can fly, but
Right.
he never gets to enjoy it. So he dreams about it because he never actually gets to enjoy flying. I just thought that was a really cool poetic story. What do you think?
I really love that too, because something that I hadn't thought about too much was that when Superman is being Clark Kent and he's at work, surely he's aware of all of the things that he could be doing as Superman, and yet he's not.
Right.
And I hadn't really considered how, like Clark Kent probably, his coworkers probably think he has to pee all the time because he's constantly running off to the bathroom or something. I hadn't really gone through what the logistics of his daily life would be like.
Right.
And I think that a lot of the sort of Justice League stories or some of the other, I mean, it's obviously Kingdom Come. I think we read a lot of stories where people have sort of given up on Superman having a normal life, and you don't really see that as much.
Right.
Um, and but I mean, like I think the core of his realization is similar to the other Superman stories. Him realizing that, um, I mean, we read the standalone Superman story where he realized that just because he could deliver food to everyone so that they don't go hungry, that's not going to solve all the problems. And Samaritan realizing that just because he can be almost everywhere he needs to be, it still doesn't fix things. There's still always more.
Right.
Um,
So yeah. So I think his origin story is really cool. That he's not like it's very similar to the Superman story, as in like he's from another place, but it's just from the future.
yep.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I really liked that variation as well. And the fact that by him succeeding, the time that he came from doesn't exist anymore.
Which makes complete sense. So like it had like this extra like tragedy to it, and the fact that his family understood that that might happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really dug this version of Superman, even though it's not Superman. I dug this because enough of what we think of Superman is there. Like he even looks like Clark Kent, right? Even with white
Yeah.
hair. He even works at a newspaper, but he's a fact checker as opposed to an actual reporter. Now, was he having the computer do his work for him?
I think that he was, but I think that he was, but I think he was like also telling the computer to like not do it perfectly.
Right.
And he was also using the computer to give him the feed of information of what was going on.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's actually it's surprising you brought that up because that's definitely like a morally ambiguous thing. I feel like Superman would be like, "No, of course I have to do the work myself."
Oh, screw that. I'm glad he has help. Like,
Right,
cause
right.
it.
Like Superman would be like, "No, no, no. Like the honorable thing to do would be to do it myself." Like Superman would make himself sit there and actually read things, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
That's stupid.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. So yeah, we talked about the Did we get the story about the goon who found out the was it Jack in the Box was it Jack in the Box? Is that the hero?
Um the so there were two Jack guys. There
Right,
was Cracker Jack, who was the asshole, and there was Jack in the Box, who was working in that neighborhood where like the thief was.
right. So yeah, Jack in the Box.
Hmm. What about him?
Just I just no, just that story. I think it's very funny. It's basically this dude psyching himself out.
Yeah. Yeah, he thinks that he discovers the uh identity of Jack in the Box and thinks that maybe Jack in the Box knows and then realizes that the guy's like in his neighborhood and he thinks he can make money off of this somehow and then he realizes that he'll be looking over his shoulder the rest of his life and yeah, it is a really interesting reaction to see someone who like a normal person sort of driving themselves crazy.
Yeah, yeah, basically. So, yeah, I like. There's not much to say about that story. It just, I think it's funny that it's a black dude who owns a toy company that's Jack in the Box, and I think he's clearly inspired by the Creeper from DC.
Okay.
That's what it seemed like to me, but the Creeper is actually crazy. Then we got was it Wing Victory? Is that her name?
Hmm.
I love her, and I love when she said, "Yeah, I'll probably save a woman over a man."
Yeah.
And the Samaritan's reaction to that. Like I find the Samaritan reaction to that very interesting. As in, like he doesn't get upset, he doesn't get mad, he just wants to
Yeah.
understand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's a good reaction to have because I think most people would be like will be put off by that statement.
Right.
But I think she makes a pretty good case.
Yeah, I mean, and she throws it right back at him. She's like, you decide based on proximity and efficiency and like how many, how you can save the most number of people, like that's no better or worse than her metric.
Right. I love that she has like women's schools slash shelters to teach women self defense and to teach women to be
Yeah.
strong. I think shit like that is like really cool, and it's the type of shit that we need instead of making women victims, or where women are victims, and trying to make them stay in victimhood. You know what I'm saying? She like no, no, they come here. They're gonna
Yeah.
learn how to protect themselves, and I think as a person with like a little sister and nieces and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I think shit
Yeah.
like that, like just from a societal thing, I think that's really important for women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I get it. Men are scary. And like I think women should be able to defend themselves. And I think when something bad happens, you should get the help. You should seek the help you need, but also, try to make yourself better from it. And that's what she was basically preaching.
Yeah.
And I love that as a message.
I'm glad you love that as a message. It's a great message.
So, speaking on Wonder Woman's eagle armor, that's pretty much what she's wearing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
actually, I was gonna say she gave me vibes of like a different character.
Okay.
You get a little Promethea feel.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Wow. I didn't even. That never crossed my mind till you just said it.
And that her thing isn't just that she's like she isn't just a superheroine, she's also kind of like a symbol and a story.
Yeah.
So she is really kind of like a Promethea. Huh.
Yeah, there you go.
Not bad for somebody who hated those books, right?
I know, right? Still one of my favorite episodes. That's literally the one show I couldn't get a word in edgewise. It was great. But yeah, their date was nice. You know what I'm saying? I really liked their date. I really liked that they kissed at the end. I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't one for this mushy stuff, right? But
yeah.
I kind of want to keep reading them. I want to see them two crazy kids get together.
It's so funny how this feels normal, but Superman and Wonder Woman can be hit or miss.
Yeah, you're like, no, because you know what? They're not Superman and Wonder Woman.
They're not.
So therefore, I think because of that, you can have a little bit of a disconnect in your mind.
Yes.
Between the two, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I hold them two crazy kids. I'm really tempted to buy the rest of these and just read them all because out of everything we've read, believe it or not, I think I found this to be the most enjoyable out of the 4 books we read.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, well, you know what it was missing for me, right?
What was it missing for you?
No Captain Marvel.
Oh well, Samaritan kind of like Captain Marvel a little bit.
Maybe he does have the
cape.
The cape is very cool. He has like a Greek like shoulder to waist cape thing that's very cool.
And he's dressed all in red.
Red. Yeah. Okay. There might be. Okay, what he's missing, he doesn't have a really dramatic transformation sequence because secretly I like Captain Marvel because he's a magical pretty girl.
He's,
like what? Sailor Moon.
No, you're gonna stop there right now.
Okay.
You're gonna. Oh, Amanda, me and my son is watching Dragon Ball Super, right?
Uh-oh.
And they having a tournament, right? Of all the universes, because now everything that's like the hot thing, like everything got a multiverse now.
Mm-hmm.
So all the multiverses gotta fight for their survival, right?
Yeah.
And in one of those multiverses are these chicks that's totally Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Woo.
And they got a whole transformation, and it's so good. It is so good. Then what happens to them is even better. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I mean, I noticed that even in the Broly movie, that the Super Saiyan transitions were a little bit more glamorous than,
than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry, Dragon Ball talk. We'll say that for another day. But yeah, so I don't know. There might be later. We don't know because there's a lot of, like, what was it? The first family. That's clearly the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
So like, who knows? Maybe if we keep reading, there's a thing-like character in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, not thing, but Shazam like character, Captain Marvel character in there somewhere. We just don't know yet. But I think I'm gonna keep reading this. What other stories do they have? I guess we should talk about the one with the girl that lives in the haunted village on top of the mountain.
Right. Our maybe Roma woman,
Right,
right?
right.
Um, yeah, what did you think of this sort of acknowledgement of magic in an otherwise, um, I don't know, just super basic, super heroic world? Like, were you surprised to have this story snuck in there?
Yeah, like it's but it's good to have it to acknowledge that like magic is also a part of this world, but also it's some shit that weirds everybody out.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. It's like it's it's an interesting story because it's basically the devil you know, right? Because she wanted to move to the big city, but then she quickly learned that none of her protections worked there.
Right, which was interesting because everyone thinks that she comes from a dangerous neighborhood.
Right, exactly. And she almost gets raped.
Yes, by a supervillain,
And there's nothing she can do,
while the building is literally falling down and around her.
which is just which is way probably way more terrifying than like the hangman looking at her every morning
Right.
or the vampires that lurk the streets. What did you think of this story, Amanda? As a woman, what did you think of this story?
Um, I I mean, I absolutely loved this idea. I mean, I thought it worked really well with the Winged Victory story.
Right.
Kind of showing in a more realistic way than we saw in Marvel's how people react to the trauma of having all of this supernatural stuff going on around them all the time.
Uh huh.
Um, and I mean, it's funny. I don't know if I responded to it specifically as a woman until you brought up that this was like a story about being a woman. Um, but I think that that's an important I think that's an important parallel to the Winged Victory story because we understand that this is the type of woman that she wants to help
Yeah.
and that this is the sort of reality that people live in. Um, I don't know. I kind of wanted to know more about that neighborhood.
I do too. Like of
Like what
all
sorts of things actually run around there? Why doesn't Samaritan just go in there and clean up? Like
of
what's
all
going
the
on?
of all the stories in this book that were good, because I think every story in here is good. That's the one that I was most interested in. That's the one I want to read more about. So I'm hoping that we get more of that later. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to think what else can we talk about. We're running a little short today as opposed to a little long. This is
I mean,
I
that happens.
yeah. Look, I'm gonna say something. I think it's great that he got Kurt Busiek on this, because in my opinion, like with the exception of maybe Mark Waid, as far as modern writers go, maybe within the last 25 years, I think Kurt Busiek might be like the best superhero writer around, especially of classical superhero stuff. So I think him and Alex Ross working together on creating concepts is like a match made in heaven.
I always think it's fun when we're so pleased with something we don't even really know what to say to add to it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
It's a
think
great feeling.
because it doesn't happen often.
Well, I also feel like it's a very month of December holiday feeling.
Right.
Just sort of a general excitement and like there's a lot of good stuff going on, but no one can function.
I know. I know. You know. Cute. Paul McCartney's "Wonderful Christmas Time" song. We're in the thick of it, and like, look, between this book and Ghostbusters, I'm pleased as punched. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Like a billion could follow me, and I still might be happy at this point. Just I did joke with my wife like, well, I can't die at least till July because Ghostbusters come out in June, so I gotta make it till then. I'm gonna be really pissed if I die before June. I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so upset. Of course, she yelled at me like, "Don't joke like that." I'm like, I'm just saying. I got a reason to live for at least another 6 months.
Yes, you do.
You know what, man? I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think that's enough. I think
Yeah, you've been busy. Holidays have been busy. The books are good.
yeah, and like just short on time. It's funny, right? Me and you've been talking how much free time we have lately, but somehow people have found ways to fill up our free time. So
Yeah.
it's not even free time.
So suddenly everyone wants to take you out for lunch, and you don't have time to not eat lunch. You're
Yeah,
just eating lunch all day, every day.
you're eating lunch. You gotta run errands that you never had before.
Yeah.
Like I gotta go get the cat wash. The cat don't take baths. Well, apparently they do now. I don't know. I just I'm gonna go buff the cat out. It's just so much is going on. So Amanda, this is like the last episode. It won't be the last episode released, but this will be the last episode re-recording for December.
Yes.
Um, I probably should did this for Thanksgiving, but like, is there anything you're thankful for? Is there anything like this holiday season? Is there anything like that just make you grateful for something?
Um, I mean, this may be a little bit cheesy, but I'm really thankful for my husband recently
Aw.
because as I've somewhat publicly acknowledged, dramatically quit my day job in a epic display of badassery. And I was able to do so because my husband works a really good job, and he appreciates that, when we first met, I was working and he was still in school. So he appreciates that he owes me a little bit of time to, let him take care of me. And he's been really supportive of me trying other things. Although one thing my husband's done recently that isn't perfect is he figured out how to get comics on my Kindle for himself.
Mm.
And now he's sitting over there snickering, reading Squirrel Girl, and I have to tell him, like, sorry, I need to actually, read my comics for my show. So he's maybe not perfect, but I'm grateful for him.
He's reading Squirrel Girl, so clearly he's not perfect. I kid. Actually, I heard Squirrel Girl was pretty funny. I kid. Man, so for me, I think I just been thankful for this whole year. This year has been weird, man. I just like I had like my shit shown at an art gallery, like
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like, I this has been like a year of like creative leaps for me. I mean, nothing like too big, but for me has been major, right? And I'm just thankful for all this. I'm thankful for like a lot of the friends I've made. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this show.
Aw. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This gives me like an outlet, and I know, as you know, I can be a little overzealous with this show sometimes, and sometimes my ideas get a little too big. And God bless you for just rolling with them. You know what I'm saying? And never really telling me no, like a whole lot. And I appreciate that. Not saying that you can't tell me no, but you know what I'm saying. I just like this show for me is just is I look forward to this. Even when I'm burnt out, I look forward to this show. And I've met
Good.
a lot of cool people through this show. And I think this show honestly helped me in my other creative endeavors. Really, I do. So like I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for everybody. I'm thankful for this year. Hopefully 2020 will be even better. Oh man, it's about to be the 20s. Ain't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Isn't that shit crazy? I used to know people when I was a kid that was born in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? That's nuts. You know what I'm saying? That is crazy. So now it's the 20s. So I guess we gotta wear like tuxedos and shit and dance to like jazz music. I don't know. So Amanda, what are we reading for January?
I got a tip from my local comic book store pull list filler that I should check out Hex Wives by Ben Blacker and Mirka Andolfo. It was just sold to me as Witches Fighting the Patriarchy,
Okay.
which is right up my alley, and right up an alley that Jamil likes to visit.
You're a witch?
I wish.
Okay.
Are you a witch?
I would be a warlock, thank you very much.
Okay.
Jesus.
I
Or
would
a wizard.
I would totally be a witch.
Bewitched. Okay, so that's what we're reading in January, right?
Yeah.
That episode will go up January 6th. Like I said, this is the final episode that we're recording, but it won't be the final episode released. So please, everybody, join us for the new year as we read Hex Wives. Now, Amanda, before we go, where can they reach us for all their well wishes for Christmas?
We are on Twitter as Comic Book Club 52. You can email us comicbookclub52@gmail.com, and we are the Comic Book Club on Facebook.
Alrighty. So I think this will wrap this up. Amanda, thank you for another awesome year of doing this podcast.
Woohoo!
And I guess, we'll see everybody in 2020. I'm Jamil Payne.
I'm Amanda Comey.
And we are out.